Merry Christmas! It is Christmas Day while I'm recording this video, and I am spending Christmas alone this year. My name is Jordan Sparks, and welcome back to my channel, Dancing with My Van. So, in today's video, I thought that I would just kind of sit down and record a video, and we could kind of get to know each other a little bit. I could let you guys know how I got here, why I made this channel, and what I'm going to be doing here, and hopefully answer a couple of questions for you guys that you might have before we even get into this journey together. So, hi, my name is Jordan Sparks. I am 33 years old, and I am currently in Belleville, Ontario, Canada, and it is Christmas Day. So, I'm spending Christmas alone this year. It doesn't really feel a lot like Christmas, and that's for several reasons. I would say the first one is that there's absolutely no snow on the ground this year. It isn't even very cold whatsoever today. I don't have any heat on in my van. I'm just hanging out in here. And yeah, I also don't really feel very Christmassy because, of course, I'm not at home with my family and I don't have any family out here. So it kind of is not feeling very Christmassy lately, but it is what it is. I hope that you guys are all having a great Christmas, whether you are out on the road adventuring, you are by yourself, or you're with your family, your loved ones, your friends, whatever it be. I hope that you guys are having a lovely Christmas this year. So, I have bought this 2009 Dodge Grand Caravan, and I bought her about 3 years ago. Her name is Magical Mrs. Mistopheles, and so far she has been nothing short of magical for me. And I originally picked this specific van because anywhere from the 2009, I believe, onwards, Dodge Grand Caravans have stow and go seating, which means that all of the back seats fold into the floor. And so I wanted that so that I could create a van build that I could live in, which was a bit of a no build, so that when I was done living in here or wanted to switch this vehicle up for a different one, that I could just take all of my stuff out, fold the seats back up, and sell it. And I've changed my mind a bit from there. Moving forward, I'm probably not going to do much for permanent alterations on this vehicle, but I also am planning to really keep this van until her dying days. So no real plans to resell her. That being said, welcome to my van. And I essentially decided on van life for many, many reasons. But honestly, a huge factor for me is that I wanted to be out in Eastern Ontario where I could have access to Toronto and Toronto's film industry, because I am an actor, a dancer, and just an all-around free-spirited creative, and I don't work in the film industry all the time, but I would love to have access so that I can continue to do that when I would like to do so, and when opportunities arise. And the thing about Eastern Ontario is rent prices here are feral. Like, it is wilding out. This is the wild, wild east when it comes to rent prices. And honestly, that is just kind of the thing across the entire country these days. But also, I could never make up my mind. Whenever I lived in Toronto in the past, I felt so confined and like I couldn't get out, and I could never afford a vehicle when I was living in the city because there was just so many expenses already. And then I feel confined out west in Alberta as well, because I don't have access to do the creative things. I don't have the creative outlets, and I really don't like living in a winter climate where it's winter like 8 months a year. And so van life seemed like a great lifestyle for me and a good choice for me to make, so that I didn't have to feel like I was working 40 hours a week at a retail job or any kind of other service job in order to just barely pay my rent and always feel like I'm on this hamster wheel running like a month behind. So we'll see how much van life really does end up costing in comparison to living in a home. But for example, a bachelor apartment around here is around $1,800 Canadian at the moment, if you're lucky enough to even find one. And I really don't think, even if you were living a lavish van life traveling around, that you would spend $1,800 a month if you're still taking time to work every day. Obviously, if you're just traveling like coast to coast and never working, you're going to burn through so much money. It takes a lot of money to travel. Traveling is not free, and neither is gas when you're hauling around a van, but it is what it is. So it personally cost about $2,500 in gas to get from Alberta. I lived in Grand Prairie, Alberta. If any of you are familiar, that's where I grew up for the most part. It's where I was born. And when I drove across the country, gas prices were around $1.85 to $1.90 Canadian per liter, and it cost about $2,500 Canadian to get across the country. So living in your van doesn't have to be synonymous with traveling and traveling all the way across the country. I just feel like it gives you more freedom to be able to go to different places, but it could definitely add up and become expensive if you're going to be traveling all over the place. Personally, I'm not going to be making any big trips like Ontario to Alberta in my van coming up anytime soon. I would love to go out to the East Coast. I've never been past Montreal heading east myself, so I've never been to Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick. I've never explored most of Quebec. I would love to do that. I've also never explored the territories of Canada, so I don't know how accessible they are by vehicle. In some parts of like Nunavut, for example, but I've never been out to Nunavut. I've never been to the Yukon, and I have never been to the Northwest Territories. But everywhere I have been in Canada was absolutely gorgeous, and I tried to document as much of that on my vlog so far here. But if you're brand new here, welcome. There's only 10 subscribers here on my channel so far, so thank you to the 10 of you that are the OGs here on this channel, the OG people in this little dancing van family. The reason why I called this channel Dancing with My Van is because I used to dance pretty much every single day, and dancing was something that I came to later in life. I grew up wanting to dance, but I grew up in a very poor family. We actually lived in a van at one point, me, my brother, and my dad. And it was very, very different living in a van back in the 90s, I can tell you that. It was definitely not glamorous. It was not something that people sought after. It was not a whole community on the internet because the internet didn't even exist yet. And it was definitely something that people saw synonymous as being completely homeless. So when you have children living in a van, the social services is going to be coming after you. It was a totally different time back then, but yes, I was very aware that we were living in poverty, and that's why we were in a van. But wanted to dance my entire life. I started dancing at 19. I became a professional dancer and a dance coach, and I started a YouTube channel about dancing as well and coaching dancers from all across the world. And I wanted to take to my van and film a series dancing in every single province in Canada. And I've basically made it from BC all the way to Ontario with that series so far. I'm hoping to continue that series as I move through other areas in the country on this journey, but I'm hoping that living in a van that I'm going to continuously feel pushed out of my comfort zone and pushed to find like-minded individuals and to continue dancing and to continue training on other things like acrobatics and gymnastics and other physical things that will keep my body and my mind healthy. So here on my channel, I'm going to be vlogging a bit of my regular life and the things that I'm interested in, but I mostly want to share with you guys how to make it possible to live out of a vehicle, what it's like living out of a vehicle on a day-to-day basis, and how you provide electronics so that you can work remotely, whether you are a content creator or you work on some other kind of business, or you just need electricity to camp or to access your needs that you're going to have while living on the road, be it your cell phone, maybe a cooler, heating sources, things like that. I wanted to share with you guys what I do to stay warm in the winter, because although it is not snowing right now, Canadian winters are usually really intense, severely cold, and very snowy. So you need to make sure that you stay warm, not just for survival's sake, but also for your comfort if you're going to be living in the van full time. And just sharing my life, what it's like, how you do your laundry, how you shower, how you go to the bathroom, all of that. I wanted to share all of that here on this journey, and I hope that you guys decide to join me on that. But I think that that is it for this little video. I would love to go more in depth as we go along on this journey together, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little taste of who I am, and if you choose to support me based off of that, that would be great, and if not, then that's fine too. But thank you for watching this video if you did make it to the end, and I will catch you guys in the next one.